Hello everyone, welcome back for another episode to the Anime Podcast Show. As you saw the title and the thumbnail, that's right, we're in another anniversary video. This is crazy, it's the biggest milestone spanning for over 40 years. That is damn huge. So many years we known about this franchise. This premise is finding the magic Dragon Balls to summon Shenron to wish for something. Anyway, oh crap, I gave it away. So I gave it away, but yes, we are talking about Dragon Ball. We are celebrating the franchise's 40th year of the manga. Wow, 40 years. That's crazy. I just can't believe it. Like, 40 years since the manga's debut. Man. Well, let's dive deep to the history of Dragon Ball. And by the way, as of I'm recording this video, it passed, for the past few days, on March 8th, we just found out the date that, we lost Akira Toriyama. It was a very sad time, and as of, this video comes out, it's on the day of the anniversary in November, but, as of I'm recording this, it's in March. So, alright, let's get started. Toriyama decided to enter the manga industry by submitting a work to amateur contest in Kodansha's Weekly Shonen magazine, however, did not line up for that contest, until another opportunity came with Weekly Shonen Jump accepted submissions for their newcomer award every month. Toriyama got a telegram and encouraged him to continue drawing and sending him manga as it came as a result to Wonderland, and it came success as a one-shot in 1978. However, the Wonder Island 2 didn't go well. He was planning quitting, but giving a final thoughts, didn't want to quit, as his editor, Kazuhiko Tsurushima, who sent him a telegram 2 months earlier asking him to draw a female lead, and that's the origin with a Raleigh in Dr. Slump. Toriyama has an idea of what he wants to make. Something with a doctor, however, his editor told him to add a robot. Originally, he wanted to have a large robot, but it didn't fit in the panels. So he instead made it small and made a robot, a little girl, knowing from Toriyama would find her cute. As a Dr. Slump's success, it did not expect he went that long. It got published in February 1980 to September 1984 for over 18 volumes. After that, it would allow Toriyama to end Dr. Slump just in time to create in time as the franchise would become a mega series for the next roughly 3 months later. After Dr. Slump's success, it would open doors Toriyama's next vision as it would be bigger. Actually, he is a fan of martial arts movies, particularly Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. And he wanted to create a manga inspired of martial arts. This would lead up to his one-shot manga, Dragon Boy Part 1, which is published by Fresh Jump 1983, and Part 2 got published in September in that year. However, following his work on Dragon Boy, Toriyama moved on to a draft changing up as loosely based on Journey to the West. In the early stages, he decided on a somewhat faithful adaptation on Journey to the West. Some of the characters looks pretty similar before the final designing, as the second designing they gave the main character into a human and has a Chinese style setting until we see the final changing with our main characters, as we all know, with Goku, Bulma, Yamcha, Oolong, and the rest of our main cast. As Dragon Ball introduced us to the world that Toriyama has created for the manga readers, it allowed the characters to go on their own adventurous journey. It published by Weekly Shonen Jump magazine in November 1984 in issue 51, as the manga came out in December 84 to June 1995 for over 519 chapters. Of course, it came successfully success. Especially with the second half of the story where Goku is a grown-up as an adult. With the reaction it never expected for the manga readers, Dragon Ball is one of the most popular manga series of all time. Dragon Ball is credited as one of the main reasons manga circulation was at its highest between the mid 80s and mid 90s, as it had intentional run for an average with 6.53 million weekly sales, the highest in its history. During the serialization in between 1984 to 1995, Weekly Shonen Jump magazine had a total sales for over 2.9 billion copies. It got inspired by future manga artists such as Eiichiro Oda, Masashi Kishimoto, etc. With the success of Dragon Ball manga, it would receive an anime adaptation. Well, let's talk about the anime. With a short amount of time after its publication of Dragon Ball, it had the popularity of being convinced Toei Animation to produce the anime series. It first aired on Fuji TV, aired on February 26, 1986, in their time slot every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Of course came success, starting with comedy as it turns into serious in the middle of the story. Then we hit a 3-year time skip for the 23rd Tenchi Budokai as Goku is grown up, and the tournament gets intense, seeing Piccolo Jr. The anime series ended their run in April 1989 for over 153 episodes. Then the following week later would be DBZ, set to air in the 26th of April 1989, same time and same channel. Continue the story where they left off after Dragon Ball. It picks up 5 years and would explore Goku's mystery past. This time around, it's focusing on violent battles as it came with TV ratings, with remaining in the top 10 animated series during its entire run. It aired until in January 31st, 1996, ended their run for over 291 episodes. Altogether with the original series, it would be 444 episodes. After DBZ ended their run, actually it was Toei's decision to continue as a sequel to the franchise. It went off with GT, or Grand Tour, or Dragon Ball GT. They wanted to go further, and getting Goku turns into a kid again and travels outer space, as Toriyama calls it, as a grand side story. It aired between February 1996 to November 1997 for 64 episodes. If you combine with GT, they aired Dragon Ball for over 508 episodes. Insane. Now, stepping into the 21st century, it's been almost a decade since Dragon Ball ended in November 1997. The franchise has died out as the video games were still going on after it ended the original series. Now, a new generation of Dragon Ball fans seen or played the games but never seen the series until it will be announced in April issue 2008 that Weekly Shonen Jump magazine are gonna go on tour to celebrate 40 years of Shonen Jump magazine as the Super Jump Anime Tour 2008. The tour would screen 7 new specials with Bleach, Gintama, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, One Piece, etc. In this new Dragon Ball story takes place after the events of the Buu Saga, as it calls Yo Son Goku and his friends return. After it came success, yep, Dragon Ball is back. But here is one single problem. How are they gonna introduce Dragon Ball to the newer fans? Well, let's talk about that. The idea came around until in early 2009 that Toei announces in Weekly Shonen Jump issue 11 that they are going to do a revision version of Dragon Ball Z in the works, as it calls Dragon Ball Kai, or internationally we call it Dragon Ball Z Kai, to honor the 20 years of the anime, and it airs on Sunday 9 a.m. instead of Wednesdays 7 p.m. The footage will be re-edited to follow the manga more closely, resulting in more faithful adaptation. Well, not really at all, because it's a little filler to it. They started airing the series in April 2009 to March of 2011, until ultimately got cancelled following the conclusion due to financial problems, and Toei didn't know that there were some issues of a musical plagiarism from feature films and music from the 80s, etc. Somehow, some from the Japanese cast let it slide that a Majin Buu arc is in the works for Kai. This version of the Majin Buu storyline is only produced for the international audience. As Kai makes its return in 2014, aired until June of 2015, now the fandom gets excited that Toei is making a brand new Dragon Ball TV series taking place a 10-year gap after the Buu Saga to the 28th Budokai tournament. As a result is the end of DBZ. To be introduced are brand new characters out of this world that we introduce, Beerus and Whis. This new Dragon Ball series called Dragon Ball Super aired on July 2015 to March of 2018, aired over 131 episodes. We know that in the fandom had so many dubs in various studios, talking about different dubs in the English market with Harmony Gold, Funimation, Ocean Productions, Bang Zoom, etc. Let's start with the first official dub, and that would be Harmony Gold. It first licensed in the late 80s, and at the time, it was one of the last attempts to marketing anime in the United States, because they had a history with their own anime dub on Robotech. And this version is a little censored and more faithful to the original, and their dub of Harmony Gold covered the first 5 episodes with 2 feature films, Curse of the Blood Rubies and Mystical Adventure, as a double feature into a single film titled as Dragon Ball the Movie in syndication as a test pilot. However, no TV networks were interested to pick it up. In 1995, a newly company been founded called Funimation Entertainment, knowing what it is today as the biggest studios and companies of all time. The founder of Funimation, Gen Fukunaga, has approached by his uncle for forming a new company, and Toei would license the rights to Dragon Ball to the United States. They partnered with Sea Eagle Entertainment and contracted with BLT Productions to create an English dub of Dragon Ball. It's dubbed at Vancouver, Canada. Actually, didn't do well after airing 13 episodes. They cancelled straight away and moved on to their successor, Dragon Ball Z. Now, moving on from the BLT dub to the Ocean dub, the reason why they chose Dragon Ball Z is as a more action series that would draw a new audience and more views to be interested to see it. It would be focusing on young children and teenagers ages 12 to 18, but couldn't be watched due to their violence. In this dub, Funimation is partnered with Saban Entertainment to bring the series. It will be dubbed at Vancouver, Canada, and some of the cast from the BLT dub of Dragon Ball, they reprised their roles, and some played new characters, and most of the cast were auditioned for it. The dub has featured an original musical score composer, Shuki Levy, who had done music for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for Saban. In the Saban's dub for Dragon Ball Z was heavily censored and edited due to the censorship guidance. They removed references such as death, alcohol, cigarettes, etc. Under Saban, they dubbed for over 67 episodes. However, it was edited to 53 episodes. As well, dubbed the Tree of Might movie as a 3-part miniseries in total 56 episodes. It got premiered in September 1996 as the first syndicated run, and they managed to secure a better morning time slot, but didn't happen, with a poor schedule as an early at 5 a.m. to 5:30 in the morning. It has managed to give a 2-season run, but somehow the dub has got cancelled due to the ratings. Now, let's move on to the best dubs. After failed attempts with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they have to take a risk in their own hands and dub the series locally, but couldn't afford it. However, Toonami rerunned Dragon Ball Z from the Saban dub. It got picked up to air in August 31st, 1998. Even the same year, Sailor Moon had acquired to air on Toonami from their bad syndicated dub back in 1995. And actually, they founded their new audience with both Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. After the new success, they decided to resume production on the series, and they could no longer afford to get the Ocean cast to reprise their roles. This was the beginning for forming their own in-house cast in a studio in Texas. Toei did not supply Funimation the master tapes, so the crew had to get in touch on a Mexican dub. Bruce Falconer is a new composer for the new dub of Dragon Ball Z. A same feel from the Ocean dub. In this new dub, they allowed to feature censorship to the guidelines on TV, as for the edited version and the uncut version will be seen on the home release. Their dub premiered on Toonami in September 1999, and the reaction was mid, because fans were upset for the casting changes from the Ocean cast to the Texas cast. And throughout the dub, they had finally developed their own performances instead of imitating their Ocean cast counterparts. Dragon Ball Z had completed their dub, finished in April 2003 for over 276 episodes. With the success of Dragon Ball Z, Funimation announces in March of 2001 they would return to dub the original Dragon Ball series. This redub complete the run on Dragon Ball aired August 2001 to December 2003, near the end of Dragon Ball's renaissance on Toonami, airing between with Dragon Ball Z April 2003 to Dragon Ball, like I mentioned earlier, December in the same year. In the middle of the run in November 2003, they aired Dragon Ball GT. When they began working on GT, they had to make an alternative episode as the first 16 episodes to replace as a single one entitled A Grand Problem. Due to the beginning that they started boring, not much action, not like it was DBZ, so that's why they skipped from the remaining 16 episodes just straight away to air episode 17 of GT as the action. After the original broadcast in 2005, they skipped episodes were later shown as the lost episodes to air 15 episodes, except the 16th episode has not aired until February 2012. After the success with Funimation's dubs of Dragon Ball, they thought it would be the end for the Ocean Cast. However, the AB Group would partner with Westwood Media to produce an alternative dub for Dragon Ball Z, producing using the same Vancouver actors from the Saban's dub, and their dub aired on Toonami UK and Canada YTV. Rather than dubbing where the Ocean Cast left off, they started where the Funimation cast were currently airing by this point. The soundtrack of the dub's music is recycled from the other titles that was produced by Ocean Productions, including with the scripts, etc. The Westwood dub is notable is been rushed production for the time to air on TV. The next dub would be GT. Once DBZ finishes, they straight away work on GT. Originally, Westwood dub would be in production prior to Funimation at that time. However, they decided to move the production in Blue Water Studios in Calgary. In this dub is very similar to the Ocean dub's version of DBZ with the edits, and actually kept the soundtrack and actually aired it on Toonami UK as their last dub before coming back to talk about Funimation in Blue Water Studios. Will be later contracted by AB Group to dub Dragon Ball. In their dub for Dragon Ball is pretty wacky, like reuse the dub script from Funimation's dub as it heavily reworked and actually aired in Canada and the UK. After acquiring the video rights to the first 53 episodes / 67 uncut episodes from Pioneer in 2004, Funimation announces that they would release these episodes on an uncut DVD release in 2004 as Ultimate Uncut Special Edition. Actually enough, they aired it on Toonami. If you can find the original broadcast with Dynamic Arc, that's the only way you can watch that dub. They were planning to release for over 22 volumes. However, after the 9th volume released, they decided to cancel it, and fans were pretty upset, who purchased the expensive release and never got to complete it. For a couple of re-releases such as the Orange Bricks, Dragon Boxes, Level Sets, Season on Blu-rays, and the 30th Anniversary Edition. What a waste. In early 2010, Funimation acquired a license for Dragon Ball Kai to be dubbed, and this dub is largely more faithful to the Japanese script than their Z's script from the 90s and early 2000s. This dub is recorded in 2010 to 2011, and will be released on DVD in May 2010 to June 2012. Actually enough, their dub of DBZ Kai, broadcast on Adult Swim's Toonami, began airing in November 2014 to December 2016. Before we headed off about the final chapters, there's actually another dub out there for DBZ Kai, and that will be the Ocean Cast. Some of the different dubs are gonna be back for the Dragon Ball Z Kai, the Ocean dub. It will be similar to the Westwood Media dub for Canada and the European markets. However, it never got aired, so I don't know what happened to it. So I heard rumors that they already recorded everything, the first 98 episodes, and they haven't aired it since. So I don't know. So now moving on to the final chapters of DBZ Kai, and this dub was recorded in 2013 to 2014, but their dub came out to air on Toonami in January 2017, at the same time airing with Dragon Ball Super. The dubs released on DVD for the final chapters came out in April to June 2017, ending the Kai run in June 2018. And this first Dragon Ball Super dub was actually recorded from Bang Zoom Entertainment, got announced for a Toonami Asia release, as it came out January 2017, 14 days after the premiere of Funimation's dub, so that means they started dubbing the series in 2016 to late 2017, before their dub was cancelled due to the closure of Toonami Asia in 2018. As fans have been waiting for a long time since the movies that Funimation announces that they acquired the rights to dub Dragon Ball Super, and many of the cast reprised their roles for it and set to air on Toonami with Dragon Ball Z Kai the final chapters and ended their run in October 2019. Now, the other media is being released with Dragon Ball, with their television specials like Bardock the Father of Goku, The History of Trunks, and A Hero's Legacy, etc. Then we move on to the feature films of Dragon Ball, from the original series as an abridged of their arcs for Curse of the Blood Rubies, Sleeping Princess in Devil's Castle, Mystical Adventure, and Path to Power. Now to the DBZ movies such as Dead Zone, The World's Strongest, Cooler's Revenge, Broly Legendary, BoJack, Fusion Reborn, Wrath of the Dragon, etc. To the revival films for Dragon Ball, and that will be Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Dragon Ball Super Superhero, as the return of the Dragon Ball brand. Before we are wrapping up the video is, what has Akira Toriyama been doing these days? Currently, right now, he's been working on a new Dragon Ball series with Toei to a commitment project to celebrating 40 years of the franchise called Dragon Ball Daima. We know that Goku and his friends turns into little kids, so we don't know much about the story, when possibly when the video comes out, the show has already been aired on TV and stream, or maybe has a dub by that point, I don't know. Also, maybe when we hit the anniversary, maybe they will announce for another movie, or who knows. Who knows if they're going to make a new project to a commitment of a 40th anniversary of a movie or a TV special, or maybe a part 2 of Dragon Ball Super, I don't know. I already made an edit note, and this was from March 8th. Says, we just had some sad news that Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st. It was so sad, we had lost another fucking legend of a manga creator. And yeah, and I heard that Akira Toriyama has been working on plenty of new projects, including with Dragon Ball Daima. Well, that is it for the Anime Podcast Show's anniversary on Dragon Ball. Happy 40 years of an amazing franchise. Like I said, thank you, Akira Toriyama, for creating a massive series that fans will remember you for. Thank you for watching this ep. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay safe, and peace.